The health CS yesterday, in his update, expressed his disgust at the news of the family that was arrested in Homa Bay. And he actually said that the governor of Homa Bay, who is Cyprian Awiti, informed him in the morning of a group of people who had traveled from Nairobi in a private vehicle, pretending they were attending a funeral, fully equipped with an empty coffin to illustrate they were mourners. And now a member of one of the families accused of pretending to be mourners who traveled from Nairobi to Homa Bay with that empty coffin has reached out to NTV to dispute the allegations. He agrees that the family traveled with an empty coffin, but says it was for genuine reasons and an actual burial for their loved one. This is part of his side of the story.
The reported case of the positive driver is not true. Being a brother, I was informed of the case because I knew of the travel of my brother to Homa Bay. The story that was reported yesterday was mixed up with another story that took place on Tuesday. The vehicle that was mentioned came from Nairobi, Dandora, on 18th at 5 a.m. and the government can confirm this with their CCTV. This vehicle is KCD 290F, which left Nairobi yesterday. In fact, there are two vehicles that left Nairobi. There was one that carried an empty coffin. There was another one that carried some passengers. Now, the person that was going to be buried in Homa Bay is different from the person that was buried on Tuesday. The person that was reported was a female, but the person that was going to be buried is a male called Milton Obote. Milton Obote had been admitted in Kenyatta. Then the family decided to take him home to try other means where he passed on. The family on this side decided to collect funds to take the coffin to the mortuary and take the body home. That is the true story, which is contrary to the story that was printed yesterday. I would like to request the governor of Homa Bay to get a clear record of which exact vehicle traveled on Tuesday 14th, buried on 16th, and which driver tested positive. In fact, I can confirm that I have the contacts of the said driver, and I talked with him in the morning today, and he told me, he narrated to me what transpired. Whether he's positive or not, that is up to the government and him. With me, he told me he is in a dispensary called Malela, where he is isolated. This is totally different from the KMTC, where my brother is. If my brother is positive, then what is his wife doing in Dandora? Which means the wife should also be positive. Number two, the people that live in that plot also should be positive or should be quarantined. So I'm wondering, the wife has not been called, the wife has not been picked, but the media there outside, everybody is saying the vehicle that carried the coffin is where the driver tested positive. But then also he was arrested at noon. The result was announced almost the same time, around 3. Homa Bay has no capacity to test COVID-19 cases. The tests are done at Kemri in Kisumu, which is so many kilometers away, then taken back. It takes around 24 hours to return the result. Let us not make the same mistake of Siaya, whereby we give people diseases, we bury them, and then the truth is covered.
Now, we asked this family, and specifically Juma, who is the brother to the driver who is alleged to be now positive, and they gave us these documents. Now, this is the vehicle that ferried the family that the government is now calling fake mourners. And this vehicle, KCD 290F, is one of those vehicles that was impounded by the government. But the family also claims that they have supporting documents and their version of the story. And the first is this government permit for burial. Now, there are details here of the deceased, who's a 35-year-old male, Milton Obote Masala, who died on the 14th of April 2020. There is a stamp with the sublocation details and name of the registration officer who verified the cause of death of the deceased and authorized the interment of the body of on 18th of April 2020. Now, attached to the permit was, again, this letter written by the family requesting permission to travel from Nairobi to Homa Bay in Homa Bay County to attend the funeral. The family claims the letter was addressed to the county police commander in Nairobi, and in the letter, names of 6 family members with their ID numbers indicate they were planning to travel on the morning of 18th April 2020 using 2 vehicles with registration numbers mentioned in the letter. One of the vehicles is the one that we've already showed you. Now, the letter was approved and stamped by the regional police commander on the 17th of April, a day before they traveled. That's the version of the family. Now, we wanted to speak to the Homa Bay County, who is Cyprian Awiti, who is the one who informed the health CS Mutai Kagwe about this, but he agreed to the interview, and we sent out a crew to his house in Karen because he's not in Homa Bay. And a few minutes to airing this broadcast, he turned our crew away and declined to give us an interview to just speak to us about these details that are now emerging over what the family is saying and what the county verified and what information they relayed to the health CS. So we'll keep following that, but at the moment we have no governor to speak to, who is Cyprian Awiti, who is in his home in